everybody, and welcome back to a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which we talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear and then discuss them over a glass of wine. I'm Patrick M. Dunn, and perhaps you remember me from the previous 98 episodes.
No, wait, is this our 99th?
This is episode 99 right here. We're in it. We got 99 problems, but a podcast ain't one.
Oh my god, I didn't realize this was 99. Ah!
Yeah.
Agent 99, I love you.
Famous 99s, 99 Luft Balloons, 1999 by Prince.
Oh my god.
99 Problems by Jay-Z, and that's about it, I think,
I
right?
think so, I don't know.
Unless you can think of any other famous 99s. All right, well, shout out to 99. And I'm joined here, in case I forgot to say it already, Kat Halstead, the author, the proud author of a number of books that you can get on our website, kathalstead.com.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Yes, and this is officially the first of our Christmas episodes.
No.
We kind of teased it last week in doing a shoplifting
No,
episode.
this isn't the first.
Oh, sorry.
You totally forgot about the epic one we've already recorded.
I'll cut that part out.
Oh my god.
This is our second Christmas episode of the season, and we're getting a little mischievous tonight. Last week, we had a nice, kind-hearted love story, but tonight we're gonna be sticky bandits tonight. We're gonna stale.
I mean, that's one way to put it.
Yeah. So we're doing a home improvement episode. So the last time we did home improvement was the first year of the podcast, right?
Yes, it was episode 12.
That was the 12th episode of our podcast. Was home improvement.
Yes, it was.
You recently listened to it, right? I haven't listened to it since it first came out.
Yes, I recently listened to it, and I thought my voice just sounded super weird.
Is it embarrassing?
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
I just remember being like really angry at Jill Taylor and just calling her like an unfond mom and just like shitting all over her.
Yeah, you were like mad at Jill. You're like really upset about the timeline of the actual episode. You were like pressed about a lot of things.
Well, I had an epiphany when I watched this episode. The one we're doing tonight. We're doing a season 2 episode. So it's been a whole year in the Tim the Toolman Taylor timeline, we'll call that.
Actually, the episode we did way back in the day was actually like a season 4 episode.
Oh, so we're going back in time.
Yes.
I thought we did the first one for some reason.
Yeah, I thought so too until I actually like went and researched it. Apparently, we did not do the first one. We did not do what we did with Roseanne.
All right, so is this the first Christmas episode they've ever done, or did they do one in season 1?
No, they did one, I believe, the season before. I can double check. Let me pull up Hulu and double check.
All right, yeah. Shall we get our facts straight before we put this on the World Wide Web?
Yeah.
We don't want to get a cunty tweet later.
Yes, it did. The first season one is You'll Better Watch Out.
Ooh, okay. Shout out to punny titles. All right, so I guess we're just kind of like, we're not like Roseanne with our Christmas episode of Home Improvement. We're just bouncing the fuck around. We're bouncing here and there and everywhere, like Winnie the Pooh Bear.
Yes.
But tonight, all right, so tonight we're going back in time to when Jill was, I guess season 4 she's not fun, but in season 2 I understand her strife, her struggle, the struggle of Jill Taylor.
And do you understand by season 4 why she's way less fun?
Yeah, I think so. Well, one, her hair sucked in this episode. I just want to throw that out there. Jill, but I think her hair always sucked. Like, has there ever been like a good Jill hair season?
I think maybe the last couple seasons when it was like just in that like longer bob and straight.
Shout out to the longer bob. Do you? What was her hair like on Strong Medicine? The was it Lifetime?
Yeah, it was Lifetime. I have no idea because I didn't watch it.
I don't know. We'll have to. Well, that'll be like a pet project. We'll have to log into the internet and see what her hair looks like on Strong Medicine. Was this when she had that weird like disease where she couldn't move? What was it called? Like stiff person disease or something?
I have no idea. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about? Google Patricia Richardson, the actress who plays Jill Taylor, and like paralysis. Like she has like a rare disease.
Paralysis?
Paralysis. She has paralysis. What did I call it? Paralysis? But she has a rare disease. It affects very few people, and she just occasionally can't move for short periods of time, and she became like a spokeswoman for this infliction. How did you not know about this?
I was apparently out of the loop. I'm like really confused.
You didn't see those episodes of Entertainment Tonight?
No.
You didn't like watch Entertainment Tonight in like 2002 and see pictures of her like why she was out of the loop for like a few years because she had like some few bad bouts with this?
Progressive subrapamycin. nuclear palsy. What?
Yes. Yes.
And that's just the start. There's like 3 other names for this thing, and no. I can barely pronounce that one.
I think in layman's terms, it's called stiff person disease.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't know this.
I had no idea.
This was like a big thing. I remember this was like all the rage in the early 2000s. Like 9/11 happened, and then this happened.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Patricia Richardson came out with her medical issues.
I apparently missed this whole thing.
Didn't we learn in previous episodes of the podcast that you didn't have cable in college?
Well, okay, no, like in college, I did have cable. But it was really weird. It was like the school would subscribe to like Dish Network or something and then pick and choose from that what channels we could get on our cable in the dorm.
Oh.
And then like they could set it so that different dorms got different channels.
Yeah, so it was like, why you didn't get the WB? So you missed like 2 whole years of Dawson's Creek. You missed like the years that like Busy Phillips was on.
Yeah, I missed a whole season of Dawson's Creek until I had mono and TBS was replaying it all.
Oh yeah, they had the little catch-ups.
And then I would catch it when I would wake up at 4 a.m.
They would do those blocks, those like binge blocks on Saturday mornings. You could, instead of like watching Saved by the Bell, the new class, for the umpteenth time,
it was like 4 episodes every morning. And when I had mono, I would wake up like in the middle of the night, and I'd wake up just in time to like watch some Dawson's Creek. I'd watch a few episodes, I'd fall back asleep, wake up after my French class ended.
Ooh, yeah. Shout out to mono. Shout out to being like sick and just getting to watch TV all day. And
like that's all I could do.
And I don't get like excuses. Yeah, you get like excuses from school and work, and you can just chill in your jammies and watch all this amazing television. So that's why we have a podcast about it now.
Yeah, but like, yeah, so like my freshman year of college, I lived in an all-girls dorm. For some reason, like whoever like set up the cable channels decided we should have the sports channels and no WB and no Disney.
I have a theory. They just wanted to fuck with y'all. That's my theory. Whoever was in charge of like the TV department in your school was like, all right, let's give all the boy dorms, let's give them the WB and like, I don't know, Lifetime. And then let's give all the girls like ESPN and ESPN2. And...
You know, I don't even know if we had like Lifetime my freshman year.
Yeah, so you missed Strong Medicine. You missed Patricia Richardson and her intense drama about whatever that show is about.
There's definitely stuff that I did, like Scrubs. I did not get into like freshman year while my friends in like other buildings were getting into it. Like but we had NBC. It was just one of those shows that we like, the girls' dorm just didn't gravitate towards.
Dude, yeah, I can't believe like you're not like a Scrubs fan. It kind of saddens me.
It just doesn't float my boat. Like I've watched it. I've seen like a good chunk of it, but it's
there.
Yeah.
It exists.
Yeah, it's just like one of those shows that's there.
It's like Family Guy. It's there. You'll watch it every now and then, but you're not gonna seek it out, I guess, or buy the DVDs, or start a fan fiction website on Tumblr.
Yeah, I'm not writing fanfic for it.
You're not a JD and Elliot shipper.
The only role I really like Sarah Chalk in is Becky on Roseanne.
Yes, and I can't wait to see what Sarah Chalk is going to do on the new Roseanne, which go on Instagram right now to all listeners and just follow Whitney Cummings on Instagram, and she will just post pics from the Roseanne set, and it just melts my heart every time I see it. I cry, I get excited, I dance, I do the Snoopy dance, and then I immediately like forward it to Kat Halstead, and then you reply exactly all of my emotions.
Yes.
And I can't wait for it.
And I do love the one picture he sent me of Whitney Cummings like lounging with the Tinder fanny pack that she wears, and you're like, you need to do this pose.
Yeah.
And put it on your Tinder profile.
Yeah, shout out to Whitney Cummings. You should do that. We'll tweet it on the Follow Us at Very podcast. We'll tweet the pic of Whitney Cummings laying with her fanny pack, and that will, I don't know, we'll do it like if Kat does it, we'll donate money to charity.
Ooh, okay.
Or I'll donate money to charity. I'll donate money to the charity that was donated to in this episode of Home Improvement, which we're about to get to. But hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Before we get into it, we have to talk about my Jill Taylor epiphany, because I think I realized it. I realized why I didn't like Jill in season 4, because she gave up. She gave up because I think of the events in this episode tonight. This is probably the catalyst that led to it. Let's be real. She has a shitty family. Her family is horrible. Agree? Disagree?
Oh, these boys are awful. Plus Tim.
Yeah, her kids suck. Brad is a moron. Randy is just an evil genius. He's probably... All right, so what, in the final season, he moves to Costa Rica?
Which I never understood because the kid was still in school, but he's like, I'm going to go to Costa Rica and volunteer. Bye. I
think he got involved with like drug running or something. You know those people that like fly planes to Costa Rica and fly it to the mainland, like Miami or something? I think he got involved in something like that. Because I remember reading a Vice article about all these little seaside communities in Costa Rica. And then like these planes would fly over and they would just drop crates of cocaine into the ocean. And then people would like swim up on boats and grab the crates and then bring them back to the mainland. So I don't know. I feel like he was involved in that. Like he got wind of it, and I don't know. Maybe he was like in charge of it. He was in charge of operations because he was smart. He's not like a
Randy Taylor, drug lord.
Yeah, he's not like the low man on the totem pole. He's like the Pablo Escobar type, like the mastermind, like the one that lives in the mansion with all the machine guns and the tigers and the diamonds and the Sharon Stones.
Take that, Dad and Mom. This is what you get for like making me feel unwelcome that last Christmas I came home.
And then you got Brad, who's just a fucking moron with a mullet. Then you got Mark. Mark doesn't matter. He's Mark. He becomes goth.
Yeah, like, oh God. Hold on. I even put in my notes, I think I said, Mark joins them because he's still an adorable sweetheart, not scary goth kid yet.
Yeah, I think, like, I enjoyed Mark in the early seasons. He was funny, you know, he would like always like bust out a joke or two.
Like he was a cute little brother. He wasn't like really that annoying.
Yeah, you got like the cute kid alert when Mark came on. But then like later on when puberty struck, he just became awkward. He was into, I don't know, cold chamber or whatever was like the rage back then. I don't know, he dressed in all black and wore eyeliner. He had like pale white skin.
He had a weird friend who like never spoke.
But you know what? I think that's the least of Jill's worries is Mark. It's just like, all right, he's going through a weird goth phase. He'll be over it in like 3 years. But I think Randy and Brad are
He's not running an international drug ring, and he's not a moron who's about to marry some like older woman played by Maggie Lawson.
Maggie Lawson's from... Why do I know that name?
Psych! She's the O'Hara, the female detective.
Oh, yeah. All right. Shout out to Psych. But all right. Then you have Tim. Then you have Tim the Toolman Taylor. Basic cable... superstar, but the home life is a mess. And as seen in this episode, he's just horrible. He's a horrible person, and he doesn't listen, and he puts his family in jeopardy.
He's that annoying I figured out why Tim never wins the lighting competition.
Why is that?
Because the neighbors hate him.
Yes, that too. All right. I was going to ask, this was like later on in my notes, but how many people entered this contest?
Well, at the very least, Tim and Doc Johnson.
But you never hear about the other neighbors.
And I think 1 year Wilson enters. We know 1 year Al enters.
Al lives on the block?
Al moves onto the block eventually. We went over in this in the last episode.
He moves in?
Yeah, he like moved in like the final season. Like he bought a house.
Oh.
And moved in, and then he like, I think like Doc Johnson had left. And Tim was like, yeah, I'm going to win the lighting contest. And then Al beats him.
Talk about shitting where you eat. Al moves into the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, well, shall we get in, before we get into the episode, shall we get into what was on that night? Because this is a wild night of television.
Yes, please.
As they always are. All right.
Yes,
so,
I am totally down to find out about this night of television.
All right. I teased it a little bit to you via private DMs, but I only gave you like one or two tidbits. All right. So this episode aired on December 16th, 1992. This was a Wednesday night. Which I always associate Home Improvement being a Tuesday night show, like following Full House, but in the early years, it was a Wednesday night staple.
Okay.
Which I kind of forgot about. All right, so shall we start off with ABC, the home network of what we're dealing with right now? All right, so on this night, ABC, 8 p.m., we start things off with a show we've done before, a show we've covered before, as of like most shows on this night we've done, The Wonder Years.
The Wonder Years.
All right, and the episode on tonight was called Let Nothing You Dismay. You want to hear the summary? I got the summary.
Yes, please.
All right. Kevin struggles to buy Winnie an expensive Christmas gift, while Jack has to find a way to secure their loan for his furniture-making business after his partner gets cold feet and goes back to Norcom. Ooh. Well, want to hear a hot scoop about this episode, though? I got a hot scoop.
Yes, please.
All right. Our gal pal, Paula Marshall, was in this episode as Bonnie, an older coworker that Wayne dates. Ooga.
Ooh.
She's in a number of episodes. I think she has like a short character arc.
Okay.
But also in this episode is Giovanni Ribisi as Jeff, one of Kevin's chums, which I think we talked about in the Wonder Years episode. Did we bring that up? I can't remember.
I think we did. I don't remember specifically, though.
Yeah, but shout out to this episode, and shout out to Paula Marshall, our gal pal. Mm-hmm. All right, you ready for 8:30? ABC 8:30.
Yes.
All right, we've done this show also. Doogie Howser, MD.
Whoa.
All right, tonight's episode, The Mother of All Fishing Trips. You want to hear the summary?
Yes, please.
All right, David, who I'm assuming is Doogie's dad, throws out his back, and Catherine takes his place on the father-son fishing trip, not to the initial delight of Doogie. And then B-plot, Vinny nurses the ailing Hauser back to health. So, I don't know. I feel like I've seen this episode.
I probably have seen that too. I mean, I feel like when I was a kid, I saw every episode of Doogie Howser.
But you probably don't remember them though, right?
There's like, okay, the most memorable episode of Doogie Howser that I have, besides like that weird thought where like the last episode and the episode before were the like this one episode together, is there's like an episode where Doogie and Wanda and Vinny and Vinny's girlfriend, they like all are like talking on the phone to each other like all throughout the night. Like there's like this long phone conversation. Like that's what I remember.
Is it like a conference call? Like what kind of wild technology were they using?
Yeah, like it was like right around when you could start like doing call waiting and adding a person into the line.
Oh yeah, that was a wild time to be alive.
I remember like doing that in high school.
Yeah, and it was like a party. What do they call it? A party line?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was weird. I don't even like know how you could. I can't even remember how you did it. But it was just like one of those things you did. It's like okay, but it was just like a group DM now.
I remember reading in the 80s, like they invented party lines, and on like a Saturday night, you would just call up this number, and you could have like 30 people on a line, and it was just a wild time. So I don't know, that's just Twitter now. That's just Twitter in a nutshell.
That's basically how we met on AOL.
All right, are you ready for ABC 9 p.m?
Yes.
All right, I didn't know the show was on this late, but Home Improvement 9 p.m. Ooga, this seems more like an 8 p.m. show.
Wow. Yeah, and I would honestly put Wonder Years and Doogie Howser later.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of dealt with like sometimes like Doogie Howser dealt with like sexual tension and Home Improvement, which like very rarely.
Yeah, and so did the Wonder Years, especially like that last season.
Yeah. All right, so hold on. 1992, we're very close to the final season, I think. If this is not the final season, then it's very close, and that's where like Kevin and Winnie started banging and all this crazy stuff. So.
Well, they did that in the finale.
Oh, it was oh yeah, that's right. But there was tension.
Yeah, there was tension. It was like they're seniors in high school. There's things that are expected.
I'm pretty sure 92, 93 was the final year of the Wonder Years. So this is where we are. I think we're in the last stretch.
I feel like it's the final year of the Wonder Years and the final year of Doogie Howser.
Shout out to that. All right, are you ready for ABC 9:30?
Yeah, what was on after Home Improvement?
All right, so this is a show we've talked about doing. We haven't done it yet, only because it's hard to find Coach. So tonight's episode is called My True Love Gave to Me. It sounds like a Christmas one. Judy thinks Dauber is proposing to her when he gives her a ring that's meant to be a Christmas gift for Christine.
Yes, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I've seen every episode of Coach, though.
I know, and I wish it would come back to Netflix, and I wish the revival got picked up. So
I know, I'm like still pressed that the revival didn't get picked up, especially because I spent the summer before rewatching the entire series, and you could see like this crazy evolution in storytelling, like just from like just the way stories were told in a sitcom like in the late 80s compared to into the 90s. Like there's this shift of things that they told in the story.
Because Coach was on from the 80s into the 90s, so you get to experience that shift. Like it happens with Roseanne too, because like Roseanne was kind of sitcom-y in its first few seasons, and then it becomes like a serial. So it's fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to see that transition phase. I don't know. I wish Coach would come back to Netflix. Come back, unless, you know what, I might have to be forced to buy the DVDs on Amazon Prime. I might be doing some late night purchases tonight, and I don't know. Maybe we'll start a Coach spinoff.
Yes.
We'll go through every ep of Coach, because I would gladly do that, because it's a great show. Shout out to Coach in sports.
Like seriously, oh my god, Coach has just so many great moments, and I'm just like, ugh.
All right.
It even has like a shout out to Larry, Daryl, and Daryl.
Yeah. Who came over from Newhart?
Mm-hmm.
All right, are you ready for ABC 10 p.m.?
Yeah, what was on at 10?
Civil Wars. Do you know this?
Not off the top of my head.
All right, so Civil Wars is an American legal drama that aired on ABC from November 20th, 1991 to March 1993, so it was on for 2 years. It's a Stephen Baccio series. The series focused on the lives and cases of New York City divorce attorneys. It had a very famous opening credit sequence, I guess. I didn't watch it, but I guess I don't know. It was hot at the time. The series starred Muriel Hemingway and our gal pal Debbie Mazar of Entourage and Being Madonna's Friend fame.
Okay.
Also, fun fact: after the series was canceled, Debbie Mazar's character was transplanted to the final season of LA Law, despite the fact that LA Law aired on NBC and not ABC. So, ooga. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I did not know that Debbie Mazar was on a show that was not Entourage or Younger. Is she on Younger? I think she's on Younger.
Maybe.
But I am a fan of Debbie Mazar. I love the character that she plays on Entourage. What is her, is it Shauna, the loudmouth publicist?
Okay, I think that's who it was. Oh, it's been forever since I watched Entourage. I should probably pull that up.
Low key, she's one of my favorites of all time. Just not just a favorite actress, but just a favorite human being, because she was friends with Madonna from the early days. She's in cameos in really, really old Madonna music videos. And I don't know, she was just a part of that world. Yeah. And I don't know, I think she doesn't get enough credit, so we have to give Debbie credit. So shout out to Debbie and her crazy eyes.
I cannot find the opening sequence, but there's a random clip.
If anyone knows about the famous opening sequence to Civil Wars, and not the Captain America Civil War, but
yeah, because that's 90% of what coming up was Captain America Civil War.
Yeah, you're either gonna get the actual war or you're gonna get Captain America,
or it's Martin Sheen in Gettysburg.
Ooh, Martin Sheen was in Gettysburg?
Apparently he was in something called Gettysburg.
Ooh, okay. We'll have to look into that. All right, are you ready for CBS?
Yes, what was on CBS?
All right, CBS had a hot night. CBS started the night off with Frosty the Snowman at 8 p.m. The classic 1969 animated short about a living snowman and a little girl who struggle to elude a greedy magician who is after the snowman's magic hat. Which,
yes.
You know what? I don't think I've seen Frosty the Snowman since I was 8, so I don't think I could tell you what it was about. When I read that description, I was like, really? That's what Frosty the Snowman's about?
Yeah, that's what it's about. I watch it every year. I have it on DVD.
Really? I don't know. Maybe we'll have to do it next year for Christmas. We could squeeze it in, because we were talking about squeezing in a few things, so we might have to do it.
Yes.
Maybe I'll have to revisit Frosty the Snowman. But hold on. Are you ready for 8:30? CBS 8:30.
What was on at 8:30?
Another Christmas special. I've never heard of it. The Wish That Changed Christmas. Do you know this?
Not off the top of my head. What's it about?
The summary is morbid as fuck. All right, so it's about Ivy, an orphan. All she wants for Christmas this year is a grandmother and a doll. And I guess she's just randomly on a bus, and she's driving through a town called Ivy, and she mistakenly thinks that the town is talking to her, so she gets off the bus. And then she's now out in the cold, and she's looking for a grandmother. She can't find a grandmother. But by the end, she finds an old lady who always wanted a child, and then this old lady had a doll. So, I don't know, there's a happy ending.
Oh my god. FYI, I'm pretty sure I just found it on YouTube.
Yeah, I guess it's based on a book or a series of books. I don't know. I didn't stick around the IMDb page for too long. But if you found it, tweet it, and maybe we'll watch it next year.
Yes, I found it.
I'm not going to watch it this year. I'll tell you that, though.
Yeah, here's the thing. Every year they, make a few Christmas... there's always, a new Christmas special or two that they hope...
the new classic?
That'll become a classic, and some of them are just bad. Bad.
Yeah, I guess the Wish That Changed Christmas didn't catch on, because we're not singing and dancing in the streets and making little figurines and Hummel figures at Macy's to celebrate it.
It's no Rudolph.
Yeah, sorry, Orphan, Ivy, and your wish.
It's not even a Nestor the long-eared Christmas donkey.
Isn't it weird though that she just wanted a grandmother and not a mother?
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
I don't know. Who knows? All right, you ready for CBS 9 o'clock?
Yes.
All right, I think we talked about this before, but I got a little more info. In the Heat of the Night.
Okay. This is the show starring Carol O'Connor, right?
Yeah, the cases and adventures of the police force in and around Sparta, Mississippi, starring Carol O'Connor and Hugh O'Connor. Did you know that Hugh O'Connor was on this? And do you know who Hugh O'Connor is?
Son?
Yes, he's his son. He's his adopted son. Carol O'Connor adopted him, and his son's story is tragic. Okay. I just have to give some bullet points about his life. All right. When Hugh O'Connor was 16, he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's. And then he conquered it with chemotherapy and marijuana. So he smoked pot and did chemotherapy. That was just kind of how he got through it. But the marijuana was the gateway drug to harder drugs.
Okay.
So ever since then, he was just addicted to hard drugs, and his struggle ended in 1995 when the actor committed suicide by shooting himself in the head.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
He left behind a wife and a son, and hold on, the day he committed suicide was his 3rd wedding anniversary.
Ouch.
Yes, so I don't know. There must have been something going on between Hugh and Mrs. Hugh that was not in the IMDb page.
Yikes.
But I do remember this story. I remember seeing the tabloids and just seeing like a distraught-looking Carol O'Connor on the cover. Mm-hmm. People were speculating that Carol O'Connor was just on his way out because of the trauma of it all, and it was a shitty situation.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for CBS 10 o'clock? We're gonna end.
Yeah. What? Tell me it's something happy.
No, it's not. It's 48 Hours.
Oh, Kat's favorite. Kat's Saturday night staple.
Something horrible is being profiled. Some kind of criminal activity, a murder.
Yeah.
Maybe a kidnapping or just something awful. So, yeah, that's CBS.
Basically, a good chunk of when Kat's not watching Hallmark movies and classic TV, she's watching true crime shows.
Yeah, that's your bio, right?
That's my new bio for the website.
All right. Well, hold on. You know what I think will lighten the mood up? We'll have to hop over to Fox.
Okay, what's on Fox?
All right, Fox. Beverly Hills 90210, 8 p.m. An episode of the podcast that we've done. It's a Totally Happening Life. We've done this episode. We go back to previous, 2 years back. This is about 2 guardian angels.
Yeah, it's 2 years back.
2 guardian angels, Clarence and Miriam. And they watch the gang over during their holiday doings. And it's weird. It's the weirdest episode of 90210 ever.
It really is. And I totally remember recording it in the garage room, sitting on the floor.
There's episodes with Hilary Swank that are less weirder than this, so...
Yeah, and those ones are pretty weird.
All right, are you ready for Fox 9 p.m.?
Yeah, it was on after 90210 because I cannot remember.
All right, so before Mondays were a bitch, Melrose Wednesdays were a thing. So Melrose Place. This is the first season of Melrose Place.
Ooh.
This is their Christmas episode, a very Melrose Christmas. Are you ready for the summary?
Oh, God.
All right, it's a long paragraph, so get ready.
Oh, God. I'm already bored to tears. What is it?
Allison undergoes an operation, and then she goes home to recover while Billy takes care of her and becomes overprotective. Ooh. Meanwhile, Jake tries to get intimate with Joe.
Okay.
She says that she needs time to think about it while he helps her overcome her depressing past against Christmas. We need to know more about that. And then also, Rhonda. Remember Rhonda from the first season? Vanessa Williams' character?
Yeah, Vanessa Williams. She's on Days of Our Lives now.
Yeah, shout out to Vanessa Williams on Days of Our Lives now. Rhonda decides to go on a skiing trip to Aspen with Terrence, who I have no idea who he is.
I think that's the guy she ends up marrying and leaving the show with.
Eloping with or something. And then, meanwhile, Matt tries to prepare a holiday meal for tenants while trying to make up with his estranged father, whom has always been disapproved of his gay tendencies.
Yeah, where are Jane and Michael? You haven't mentioned them yet.
All right, here we go. Jane is out of town, and Michael is divulged with hospital patients in the ER and invites his coworker, Kimberly Shaw, over at Melrose for a Christmas party. Ooh, God. Is this the first appearance of Kimberly Shaw? Who knows?
No, I feel like we probably saw her before, but she was just that doctor he worked with, you know?
She was in the background at all times. There's just this crazy Kimberly.
Not even background, but she was just
there.
The work wife kind of thing. They've been residents or whatever for a while, and they're on the same schedule.
Yeah, and little do we know that she ends up going on to becoming the most iconic character of Melrose Place ever. Is there a better character than Kimberly Shaw?
Marcia Cross, I love you.
Best character, Melrose Place.
The only other... Okay, when it comes to Melrose Place, you think Kimberly,
Sydney,
Amanda, and Sydney.
Yes, top 3.
Right there.
For sure. You can't get any better than that. And you know what? You said them in the right order, I think. You know what? Actually, I think I would put Sydney before Amanda.
Yeah, I was kind of Amanda was probably the biggest...
She's more known.
She's the name that everybody associates, but when you really think about it, you think about the redheads.
Yeah, because, Amanda's a great character in the beginning, but near the end, she kind of sucked. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to, maybe we'll have to revisit that. We're not doing that episode. We're going to do a better episode. Maybe when, Kimberly blows up Melrose Place, or... something even wilder, because she's always up to something wild.
One where Sydney dies, and then we learn years later she didn't actually die on the reboot.
Yeah. And
then she dies on the reboot.
I know, right? Laura Lighton can't take a break.
I think she does Hallmark movies and mystery stuff now.
I know. We have to. We'll have to find one. We'll have to find a good Laura Lighton mystery story.
All right, what was on NBC? Because I think that's the only other network we've got, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've done most of the shows that was on this thing because we start things off with Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries. I love me some Unsolved Mysteries, as you know.
Yeah, so go back like a few episodes back and listen to our Unsolved Mysteries episode because I think that was like a hot episode of ours. We did some good mysteries that night.
Yeah, I honestly don't even know I don't look at the numbers.
But are you ready for NBC 9 o'clock?
What was on after Unsolved Mysteries?
All right, before it was on Thursday, Seinfeld was a Wednesday night staple.
Seinfeld. Okay, what was Seinfeld? 1992? Is this the year? 1992?
Yeah, so tonight's episode of Seinfeld was an episode called The Pick. Do you know it by the title?
The one where Jerry picks his nose. It looks like Jerry's picking his nose in the car, and the supermodel sees it.
It could be, but that's in the description that I found. It says Elaine accidentally reveals too much cleavage on a Christmas card, and Kramer is asked to pose.
Oh, the nip.
And then Kramer is asked to pose for a risque underwear ad. So I don't know. I don't know what Jerry's storyline was that
yes,
night.
I think it's the same episode. It's totally the same episode.
Okay, well, I would have led with that.
Because she's a model who works for Calvin Klein, and she sets up the meeting with Kramer and Calvin Klein.
Wild night of television. So shout out to that night. Are you ready for NBC 9:30?
Yes.
We've done this show, Mad About You.
Ooh, another one of Kat's favorites.
Yeah, tonight's episode was Met Someone. This is a flashback episode to when Paul reminisces about his first encounter with Jamie and their subsequent first date.
Oh, I love this episode. It's so adorable.
Yes, and shout out to Helen Hunt. I don't know. I've been in like Helen Hunt mania lately. She's going to be filming a movie in Boston in December, and I'm like, ooh, I think I need to go back to Boston and meet Helen Hunt.
Oh my god. Seriously. Oh, Paul and Jamie are just one of my like top 5 favorite couples.
I think we need to do another Mad About You soon. I think the list that we've created, we just need to like bump Mad About You ahead of something because I need to go back to that world. We need more Helen Hunt in our life. I think 2017 has been a shitty time. 2018, we just got to Helen Hunt it up. So I'm going to put it on my vision board. We're going to have a Helen Hunty 2018. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll have some Helen Hunt corners.
Is she one of our new gal pals?
It'll be great. We'll enjoy it. Are you ready for the final thing? The final series?
Okay, what was on at 10 o'clock on NBC on a Wednesday night?
You know this. You know it. It's a staple. It's an NBC staple. It's still an NBC staple. Law and Order. OG Law and Order.
Oh, the classic.
But I couldn't find...
I'm betting this is a Chris Noth episode with Jerry Orbach. I bet that's who our detectives were.
We're definitely in the Chris Noth era, I think, because this is 92. Jerry Orbach was there like pretty much all along until he croaked. But I don't know. I couldn't find the episode that was on tonight. It just was not in the information I had. So I don't know. I don't know what episode was on tonight, but I don't know. We can only imagine.
But I'm like pretty sure this is definitely a Noth Orbach team. Because I feel like this is like still a couple years before we get Benjamin Bratt and Chris like tries to go make it big somewhere else.
Yeah, I think, isn't like Benjamin Bratt more like 95-ish?
Because actually like I started watching Law and Order is one of those shows I didn't watch right away because it was on so late and it wasn't like kid friendly. And we were still kids at this point.
Yeah, you were 11 years old when this episode was on, so there's no way you were up at 10 o'clock at night.
We're not. Neither of us are watching Law & Order.
You're watching Home Improvement and maybe Coach.
Oh, 100% I was watching Coach. I watched all of ABC except for, like, Civil War.
I don't know. I was probably watching Home Improvement and then, like, flipped over the last half hour at Melrose Place, but who knows? I can't remember. I don't remember what I was doing that day. But I definitely was not watching Law & Order when I was 11. Like, Law & Order, I didn't, like, pick up on until, like, SVU came out, which was, like, 99-ish.
Yeah, I started watching Law & Order probably when I was, like, 14 or 15. So definitely in the Benjamin Bratt years.
Yeah, and, like, so Benjamin Bratt was, like, your intro to the show. So shout out to Benjamin Bratt. And Miss Congeniality, which he was in.
Yes, that is a classic movie.
It's future podcast subject. Maybe.
Ooh. Maybe.
But that was that night of television. Shall we get into the main event?
Yes.
All right. So
let us.
I think you should bring us into I'm Scheming of a White Christmas.
Oh my god. We are at the Taylor house. Tim is decorating the house for the lighting contest because, you know, he has to have his rivalry with Doc Johnson and he has to make the brightest freaking snowman. Like, he's like, oh, you guys need sunglasses for this thing. And it's like ridiculous. ridiculously bright.
All right, before we get there, can we talk about how Jill and Mark are just chilling on the couch looking at a bunch of those like mail order processed meat logs?
Oh, yes. Like earlier when I was listening to the episode in the car, I was like, oh my God, I need to remember that. And I totally forgot it. I was like, Patrick's going to make me start this and I'm going to forget something.
I gathered those meat logs were probably from those like dumb fundraiser catalogs where like moms take them to work and they trick all their coworkers into buying overpriced popcorn tins and like meat logs and cheese things and...
Yeah, those like stupid fundraiser crap. Okay, can I just point out, like, my nephew is in freaking preschool and they try to get the kids to do this kind of crap.
All right, and you're wise enough to know, like, all right, this stuff is ridiculous. You're gonna drop $20 to buy like a popcorn tin. $1 of that is going to the school. $19 is going to the catalog company. You're better off just going to your local food line and just grabbing, I don't know, Smart Food or something.
When the little Boy Scouts like try to get me to buy the tin of popcorn, I'm just like, no, because like I'm sorry, it's not worth $10 for like this teeny tiny tin of popcorn. Like, it's not even like a big tin. It's not like one of those like tri-flavor ones. It's like just like this tiny thing that like my laptop is bigger than.
I agree. I'm totally with you. Which happens in this episode. Yeah. So Jill and Mark are sitting on the couch and they're looking at the little meat log. It's supposed to be like, you know, those little like pepperoni logs or something that you get.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the stuff you order from like David and Henry's or Hickory Farms or like something like that, you know?
Yeah, and they're looking at the actual meat log and they're comparing it to the picture on the page of the catalog. Mm-hmm. And Jill's like, oh, like it's actually the same size of the picture. Like usually the meat log will be a little bit bigger, but I don't know. Now she has to like go and deliver all this food to all her friends and neighbors and just be like, hey, this is what you paid $27 for, this little like tiny ass fucking pepperoni stick that's salty as fuck, probably loaded with preservatives.
Well, like I don't even think it's like this. I think it's the stuff she bought to give as presents. So now she like feels really like shitty because she spent like $20 on this thing and it's probably worth like $5.
Yeah, and you know you're just better off just going to, you know, like that little like department at your local supermarket that just has like all like the sausage logs and stuff.
Or like going to like the local specialty gift shop and finding like an elk log or a deer log or something.
Even like the Hickory Farm stand in the mall, I think would even be better.
Yeah,
because you can see what you're buying. You can go, no, I'm not paying fucking $20 for that.
You can see what you're buying. You can see how many of those like weird strawberry candies they're gonna toss in. Because didn't your boxes like that always come with the weird strawberry candies?
And like the wrapper looks like an actual strawberry. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? Low key, I like those. I think those are like out of my top 10 favorite candies. That might be number 6.
Oh my! I can't even remember the last time I had one, but now I'm kind of like I can taste it already. I'm like craving one.
So after all this melee, Tim announces that his Xmas lights in the annual Christmas light contest are ready. Him and Doc Johnson, his arch nemesis, are like they're always going head toe to toe, and they go outside. They're standing on the porch. And they're all just like looking. You can't see the Christmas lights. You can't see the yard. You don't know like what kind of array he has set up.
We have never actually like really seen Tim's light display. We have no clue how big their front yard is.
We have no idea. But we do know that he advises his family. It's just Jill and Mark and Tim. He advises them to put on some like sunglasses, basically. Like you need to cover your eyes.
Like, if you have to cover your eyes because your Christmas lights are so bright, you're doing it wrong.
Tim he picks up this like switch. It's not just like a light switch or something. It's like one of those like old-fashioned things where it's like a fuse switch and you like move the lever over to the right. And he moves the lever over. The Christmas lights turn on. But it's this blinding white light. It looks like Agent Fox Mulder is in... like he's about to be abducted by a UFO. That's what it looks like. Jill and Mark are just staring at it. Like, what... First of all, do not look at the snowman. The gigantic snowman will blind you. Please keep your eyes off that. Focus on...
Don't look directly at Frosty.
Yeah, focus on something else.
Like, if you can't look directly at the Frosty, you've done it incorrectly.
And then we cut. We get like a little like time cut. So now we're going to jump to the main event. I guess it's the next day or later that day. I don't even know. But Randy and Brad are going door to door collecting money for charity.
Yeah, it was like later that night.
And
like 20, 30 minutes later.
yeah, it annoyed me that for like most of the episode, they just kept saying charity, but like, without specifying what it is.
I was reading a blog post about this episode and they had the same complaint.
Really?
Yes.
All right, we're collecting money for charity. I was like, are you being like swindled? Like, what is going on?
It's like, what is this charity?
But Jill thinks his boys are doing a good deed, and she is super proud of them.
Like, she was proud of them, and they were like, oh yeah, we're doing good. Like, they did good, and then Randy turns out to be a total evil genius.
Yeah, so we cut to upstairs. So the boys go upstairs. They bring they're like walking around with like little like Folgers coffee cans, like Maxwell House cans.
Yeah.
And they pop the lid off. Randy's just counting cash, and it's all singles. I'm guessing it's all like dollar bills.
Yeah, it's just bills. Apparently, there's some change, but we don't see the change.
Yeah, and he counts out like $90-ish, right?
It's like $90 and like 74 cents, something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, and then Brad is like, whoa, hold on, $90. Hold on. If we do this every day, we collect $90 every day for a week, we'll probably get like close to $200.
Brad, this is why Randy is counting the money.
Yeah, and then Randy just looks on in disgust. He just turns around, looks at his brother with the stupid mullet, just shakes his head, and he's like, this is why I'm the accountant. Randy is an evil genius. Mm-hmm. He comes up with a plot. He's like, hold on. Let's just take half of what we earn. So, like, for every $2 that we donate, we'll just keep $2. So, basically, it's like what United Way does, or like GoFundMe. Like, you're just like taking money off the top. I love the plot. Like, all right, we're gonna buy comics and we're gonna buy Gameboy games. And Brad is into something called Rooster Man, which low key, if you dyed Brad's hair red, he would look like a Rooster Man.
Yes, Rooster Man.
The Game Boy game that Randy wants is called Barbarians 2, which is not real, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. It's a made-up game. And are you ready for a tool time break?
Yes, because... Oh, okay, can I just point out that this episode is the first time we see Brad and Randy's room?
Really? This is the first time we ever see Brad and Randy's room?
Yes, and they're like awesome beds.
You know what? They did have like a pretty cool setup.
Can we just talk about this for a second?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about their room.
So, like, everything's like built in. When we see Mark's room later on, it's like a regular bed. Or like, I think when Randy gets his own room eventually, it's like... I think they built that in too. But like, I was like always like amazed by their room as a kid because I was like, I didn't get it because they have these mattresses in the levels, but you don't see like sheets on them.
Do you think that Tim built the beds, or do you think Al built the beds? He came over one day.
I feel like it was a Tool Time special. Anything in that house that's like not falling apart is something Tim did for Tool Time, so Al helped. And I figured that's how he was able to afford some of these renovations.
Oh, good
because
call.
He did them as episodes, and they were able to write them off.
Because like Binford sponsored them?
Yeah.
We'll do an episode where we rebuild the boys' rooms. This is like what your boys' rooms could look like as made by these classy Binford tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I could totally see it. Tim is like the poor man's Ty Pennington.
Yes. Yes.
On like a shittier cable network.
Yeah.
We talked about this in the last episode, I remember. So, is Tool Time a local show or a national series? Because I'm still confused by this.
National series.
This is national.
It's a national series, but it's like cable channels. Okay, so like, let's think about this. It's the 90s. Cable's still pretty new. So you might not get like... When we were kids and we had cable, we had, what, 20, 30 channels?
Give or take. I see what you're saying. So
compared to, like,
there was probably
hundreds of channels we have now.
Like, what type of cable channel was Tool Time on? Was there, like, a do-it-yourself channel?
Yeah, it was probably on, like, a do-it-yourself kind of channel. Like an early HGTV kind of thing.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. I mean, like, when did HGTV become a thing?
Because it's sort of like the sort of thing... HGTV sort of did way back in the day.
Because I know loosely Tool Time is based on like This Old House with Bob Vila, which was like a PBS thing that was like public access.
Yeah.
But they specifically say that Tool Time is a cable series. I always thought it was like, I always like pictured it like cable access. Like, you know how like anyone can have a cable access series. That's what I always assumed.
It's way too popular for that.
Yeah, but exactly. If you watch episodes of Home Improvement, like the show's just wildly popular. And it seems like they talk about like out of town affiliates and stuff sometimes, and there's always people from like the other side of the country that come in. So it always confused me, and I just never like understood what type of channel it would be on. The Learning Channel maybe had it. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, like the Learning Channel or something. Because like, can we be real? Before the Learning Channel had trading spaces, it was mostly like way educational stuff.
Yeah, and like Tool Time could kind of be considered educational because you're learning how to do things around the house. So who knows?
So it was on like something like that.
Regardless, we're in our Tool Time break. Tim, Al, and Maureen. Maureen, we get an appearance by Vicki Lewis as Maureen, the assistant. They're prepping for the Tool Time Christmas special, and I guess they have to film like the promo for the upcoming Christmas special.
Yes, they're filming a promo against a green screen.
Yes, but hold on.
Al is dressed up like Santa, and he has a hard hat on.
Yes. Before we get there, though, before we get to that, though, Tim, for the Christmas special, wanted the barking dogs who can sing Jingle Bells.
Yes.
But Maureen booked the next best thing, the Manhattan Transfer.
Manhattan Transfer.
A jazz vocal group that spans back to the late 60s. So are you familiar with the Manhattan Transfer?
Yes. Actually, I believe one of the members was actually like my chorus teacher's like former student. I don't know which one, but like I remember him bragging about that at one point.
Wow. All right. So the group members like change throughout the years, so it's not always the same people. But I did a little research into them. So I mean, I always knew who they were because A League of Their Own soundtrack, they're featured on it. But around this time of year, around this time they released a Christmas album which featured Tony Bennett and a cover of a Beatles song.
Okay.
As I previously teased, they were on the A League of Their Own soundtrack, which I owned. I bought the A League of Their Own soundtrack thinking the Madonna song was going to be on it, but it wasn't.
Oh, yes. That's like one of the few Madonna songs I actually own.
Shout out to Carole King, though. She had a good song on there. And the Manhattan Transfer has 2 songs on there, so that's how I always knew them. And then they like really try to pimp out the Manhattan Transfer in this episode. Like they're really pushing them.
Like around this time, Manhattan Transfer was actually kind of a big deal. Like for Christmas music, they were pretty popular.
Was it like the Rockettes kind of a thing?
If they were still popular today, everybody would their Christmas lights to them instead of Mannheim Steamboat.
If anyone knows about the Manhattan Transfer, tweet us at Veribpodcast and just like school us on them.
Yes, please school us.
All I know is that there was a guy in the band named Tim and a guy in the band named Al.
So we get the guy whose name is Al doing the I don't think so, Tim.
I just thought that was hilarious. But all right, so then we get to the thing where you mentioned where they now do the green screen thing where Al dresses up like Santa, Tim dresses up like an elf, and they're pretending to like fly across the sky, and it's stupid. It's like the stupidest thing I've ever seen in a TV show. I don't know, like they're being chased by like fighter jets. I don't know. It was dumb. It was just like the stupidest thing. It didn't add to the story. It didn't add to the episode. They just had to fill like 5 minutes, I guess. I don't know. Like, what was your take on this?
You know what it reminded me of?
That episode of Growing Pains that we did like 2 weeks ago?
Yes, the episode of Growing Pains with like Ben's green screen.
Yes.
Like what he would think. That's what it reminded me of.
I don't know.
It's just like these random shots that they think are funny. Like, okay, and in 1992 it was kind of cool.
I don't know. Part of me is like
2017 we're kind of like
a part of me was like, all right, they're trying to like obviously go for this meaningful episode where they want to teach Brad and Randy this like important message about like Stalin, I guess. And then it's like, hold on, let's cut away from this like goofy segment where Al and Tim are flying through the sky pretending they're Santa and a random ass elf on like a snowblower that's flying through the air. I don't know.
A snowblower that Tim has souped up because, you know, it's Tim. And that's what he does. And like my favorite part though is like Maureen tells Tim how the thing works and he's like, I designed it. Which is basically like their whole relationship. She's always like telling him how stuff works on the show and he's like, it's my show. I know how things work around here. Go away.
Fuck Tim the Toolman Taylor. I just have to throw this out there because I think Maureen is just a way ahead of her time.
Probably.
She was just a female assistant in on a shitty cable series.
The producer.
Like all I can think about is this. All right, in this fictional world, that Maureen the assistant / producer just comes out with like a scandal, like Tim the Toolman Taylor treated me like a dick all these years. He always second guessed me. Like, do you think there's a tweet right now?
No, because I think Maureen had a relationship with Al. Plus, I think she was the boss's daughter.
Okay.
I'm a little, like, fuzzy on that.
All right. Can we cut to the next day where, like, things actually start to matter in this episode?
Yes, where things actually start to pick up.
Randy and Brad have gone charity collecting again, and they come home all sad because they only made $5.
Aww. Well, that's because you've already harassed everybody in the neighborhood for money, and they gave you what they're giving you.
I thought that. They're obviously lowballing their price. So I was like, all right, so why did you, like, super lowball, like, how much you made?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just say, like, a little bit higher just to escape any potential suspicion? Like, but you know what? Like, Randy is young.
Because they didn't think that far ahead.
Randy's still young. He's still learning. He's not the evil genius fully yet.
No, we've still got a few years before he becomes the drug lord.
They leave the room, and then Jill finds a bunch of swag in their backpacks. Rooster Man comics, Barbarian 2, a charm necklace, a cool wristwatch that Tim wanted, what I guess gives you, like, the time in different time zones, and you can go 120 meters underwater. Low-key, this is the $10 Casio watch that I've had since, like, the mid-90s, which is still on its original battery. Like, original battery. And hold on, it's right here. Here it is.
He's holding it up right now. He still has it.
It's
OMG.
an OG Casio watch. It's still alive.
Wow,
Original battery.
Yeah, none of my watches are on the original batteries.
Jill is livid. Jill is pissed. This is like, all right, the catalyst for, like, Jill becoming an unfun mom because she has to deal with this horrible family. It's like her kids suck. Mm-hmm. Tim sucks.
Her kids are little monsters.
They slip outside. So Tim and Jill go outside in the Detroit cold. It's Detroit.
They are.
It's the winter. It's cold. They bump into the serial killer next door, Wilson, who gives them, like, a plum cake.
Wait, is this before or after Tim sits on the glass reindeer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why they go outside, because
That's why.
sits down on a box of ornaments and gets, like, a bunch of glass in his ass.
And an antler up his butt.
Yep. So he has to, like, run outside, and Jill's just, like, wiping his ass down to get all the glass shards out.
Like,
Wilson, the serial killer, is next door, and he, like, overhears it, and he does, like, the whole, like, howdy ho neighbor thing.
Yeah.
He then gives the Taylors his Christmas present, which is, like, plum cake, which he then goes on to, like, a weird story about the people of Hertfordshire, England, who put the plum cake on a cow's horn. Then they throw cider in the cow's face. And if the cow flicks the cake forward, then it means it's going to be a very good harvest.
Hey, that's swell, but, like, do these people eat the cake or not? Like, if they don't eat the cake, why are you giving them this damn cake?
I don't know, but I love, through this story, Jill and Tim are just looking at each other like, what the fuck? Like, why did we come outside? We should have just, like, shook your, like, the glass off your ass inside.
Like, oh my god, this guy just is forever weird. And Jill's all, like, apologetic about, like, the cheese log.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because they gave,
the meat stick.
they gave Wilson one of those, like, meat cheese logs. Because he was one of the buyers. He was one of the unsuspecting buyers of the meat and cheese log.
She's like, I didn't realize they were actual size in the catalog.
But he don't give a fuck because he plans on killing them anyway. Like low key, do you think Wilson is Hannibal Lecter?
He's just the weird guy next door who talks to you at the fence. Don't you have a neighbor like that?
No, I don't talk to people.
That's why I don't go out of my backyard, like, very far. Because, like, if I do and the neighbors from the house behind us are out there, they, like, want to talk. And I'm like, no, I'm okay.
Look out the window. I see people outside and I go, I'm not going outside right now. I'll wait till later.
I'm like, dogs, get in here. I'll start yelling for Scooter and Leo and I'll be like, get in here, dogs.
All right, shall we talk about the catalyst?
Yes, here it is. Here's the moment Jill learns that her sons are total pieces of shit.
If you remember correctly, earlier, Randy and Brad said they only collected $5 in their charity collection that day. Wilson, the neighbor, drops a bomb.
Yes.
He says, right before he, like, slips inside, he says something about how he casually donated $10 to Randy and Brad. And then Jill's like, what the fuck?
Oh, she's, like, fuming. And she doesn't tell Tim right away because she doesn't want Wilson to know. Because let's be real. Wilson is totally, like, the nosy neighbor who doesn't leave this family the F alone.
Jill starts flashing back. She's like, all those Rooster Man comics. Barbarians 2. That charm necklace that Brad bought for Jennifer, Brad's stupid girlfriend, and the watch, the Casio watch.
Well, because, like, they thought maybe, like, Grandma gave them some Christmas money, but nope. Your kids are thieves.
Your kids are fucking evil. So, Randy and Brad are now caught in the act, and she confronts them, and they don't even try to like come up with an excuse. They're just like, yeah, you caught us.
Yeah. Well, like they had gone out for the afternoon to do more, to get more, to like try and scam more money from their neighbors. Like there's got to be a point where the neighbors are like, dude, I don't have any more money to give you. Just go away.
Like, do you think they went to other neighborhoods? Because like, how are you gonna like just keep getting money? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Because like, are you hitting up the houses that weren't home when you went like the first time? Like what?
But this is when they're sent upstairs. So now Jill and Tim send them upstairs to like think about what they did, I guess. And this is like where we finally learn the charity is for orphan kids who have nothing at all.
Yes.
And instead of returning all the goods and like giving the kids cash, like what they're supposed to do, the boys grow a heart and they decide to give away their shitty old toys.
What happened is Jill and Tim gave them the money to replace what they stole. And then they're going to have to work it off with chores around the house.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, that was part of the whole thing.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that. I missed that
And then Brad and Randy had to go down to the shelter.
Okay.
And not only admit what they did, but apologize. So they get back from that, and now they're all like, oh my God, we're such assholes.
Yeah, like they're upstairs. All right, hold on. So Brad didn't even apologize because like he like got dumbfounded. No. So Randy had to do all the apologizing.
Yeah, because that's Brad.
So Randy had to do like all the dirty work. So now all like the orphans in suburban Detroit were probably pissed at Randy. They don't even. They just think Brad is just
Randy is the evil mastermind who is behind it all, anyways.
Exactly, and Brad is just like a stupid fool who has like a weird mullet, like a Bart Simpson haircut.
He's just like the sidekick to this. That's all Brad is. He is Randy's sidekick.
Like I get they start to feel like a little bit of compassion. They start to feel a little bit of bad, and like they're all right. Let's just give away like our shitty old toys, which is just like a dumb like toy gun, like Mark's baseball mitt.
Yeah, they start just like going through and picking up like the toys that they don't play with anymore. You know, didn't you do that as a kid? You'd have to like go through your toys and donate what you didn't play with anymore.
But I liked everything I had, and I never wanted to give anything up. And like I would just like come home some
Okay, you sound like my nephew.
Yeah, but I would come home like some days and like things would be missing. I'm like, hold on, where's that like weird suction cup guy from my He-Man lineup? And I was like, oh, I like got rid of it. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I still play with that fucking thing. Like, you don't know what toys I like. Like, no.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. And you know what? Now they're like worth tons of money, and I could have still had them because I would have kept them.
Yeah, those were not like the stuff I would get rid of. Like, until I moved to Colorado, I still had all my Shiras. I still had all my little ponies. I still had all my Barbies. But then, like,
You had to get rid of them.
my dad left them behind. And I was, like, pressed.
Brad and Randy are now heroes, I guess. They save Christmas. I don't know.
They learned their lesson or something.
I don't know. It's dumb. Like, before we can even, like, kind of, like, get a hold of what they do, we cut over to a Manhattan transfer break.
It's the actual episode of Tool Time.
It's the dumbest 5-minute segment of any episode of television ever. The Manhattan Transfer singing a song. Al dressed up as Santa Claus gets stuck in a fake chimney, but he is like actually stuck.
Yeah, he's like literally stuck.
Tim, the two-man tailor, has to cut him out with a Binford chainsaw, and I don't know. Like,
Can we just talk about the fact that Al's the one that got stuck and not Tim?
Well, Al was dressed up like Santa Claus and had to go down like the fake chimney. And like, why did they make the chimney like wider? I don't know. Like the whole logistics.
They knew it was like, okay, let's be real. Al was not like a tiny man.
You would have thought Maureen, the producer / assistant, would have been like, hold on. Maybe we should build like the chimney chute like a little wider so Al could fit through it, and like, especially since he's even wearing like a puffy Santa costume. But no, he gets stuck. And then it's like, all right, it's probably like a cardboard set. It's probably not like an actual chimney. Mm-hmm. It's not like you have to like do actual work to get them out. But Tim just like busts out like a chainsaw on television of all things. Like the show is still on the air. The like Tool Time is still
because it's Tim. Oh my God. Just like imagine what YouTube clips would be like from this show of like people's like VHS recording.
Yeah, it would be like Tim Taylor murders Al during a Manhattan Transfer like performance.
Just imagine like what these YouTube, like how many YouTube clips they would have. There would be like montages and stuff. There'd be like some hipster dude going like, I found these like in my dad's collection. This guy can't be real. Like just imagine in world Like, how hilarious that would be.
Do you know what we should do is, so you know how they have that app that makes videos look like they're from like the 80s?
Yes.
We should take Tool Time video clips from Home Improvement, run them through that app, and then like put them on YouTube as like fake videos from the 80s of like a weird cable access show.
Oh my god.
And I don't know, I think we should do that. We'll probably get like immediately kicked off YouTube.
Yeah, let's not do that again.
Maybe we'll do a private video. All right.
Let's not get
we're not getting
kicked
kicked
off
off YouTube again. So after the Manhattan transfer break, we kind of get like the final scene of the episode. Tim loses the Christmas light contest.
Of course he does, because all the neighbors hate him. Like, he put up that Frosty and all the neighbors gathered outside to like, in a mob ready to like burn him at the stake like he was Frankenstein's monster or something.
Yeah, like why did they just like tear apart his yard?
Like, okay, can you just think about what kind of an annoying neighbor Tim probably is? There's like probably always some kind of construction project, and it's probably always loud because it has to have more power. Think of all the times he's probably like tripped the electricity for the street and everybody's blacked out. Or he's like done something to disturb the water or the gas, you know?
Yeah, it's just living in destruction. There's probably always, the fire department's probably always there. There's always, the police are there. It's like some type of emergency service system is there.
Yeah, and then like he puts up this light display and planes are coming towards the houses because they think it's like the airport tower because the lights are so freaking bright. Like, that happens several times like throughout the series, I think.
Yes, I think every Christmas episode, some kind of aircraft going towards the Taylor house. It's like Die Hard, like Die Hard 2.
So, you know.
Poor Jill Taylor, which is why I now relate with Jill Taylor more than ever. So apologies to Jill Taylor.
Now you understand, Jill.
Yeah, sorry for calling you an unfond mom in 2015.
I told him he was wrong then.
I take it all back. I'm going to go to like law school. I'm going to become a divorce lawyer. I'm going to drop your papers and I'm going to get you the fuck out of that neighborhood and hopefully have a happier life. I want like the alternate reality Jill Taylor where she's just like a Mary Tyler Moore type, just single. She's not even like Jill Taylor. She's Jill, whatever her maiden name is, just in a new, like she's in Detroit on her own. Live in an apartment with her gal pals, having fun. Just Jill. You know what? Let's just call it Just Jill.
Just Jill.
Yeah, shout out to that. We're gonna wish that into existence. We're gonna get an alternate reality reboot of Home Improvement where it's Just Jill. So maybe Wilson. You know what? Wilson can come by. And Doc Johnson.
Could we get a reboot of Home Improvement?
I think we could.
Like, okay, think about it. Because we're at the point, at least one of the boys is married. Probably Brad.
Brad and Jennifer?
Right? No, like, they broke up. Like, she went with some other jerky guy. But, like, Brad's married. Mark lives, like, in the basement of Brad's house. Yeah, as, like, in an apartment Tim built or something.
Mark's on tour with Pucifer or AWOL Nation or something.
Mark's, like, a YouTuber.
Oh, you know what? I could see him as, like, a gothy YouTuber.
Yeah, maybe not even gothy, because he, like, grew out of that.
All right, you know what? I could see Mark being, like, the third host on a very special podcast. Let's be real.
Yeah, I was like, Mark would be one of us.
Yes. I'd be like, all right, tonight's episode featured Kat, Patrick, and Mark.
Randy's the brother who, like, pops up every so often because they're still bitter towards JTT. Though they're not, because JTT did Tim's last show.
Well, right now, Randy's probably living in, like, a Scarface-like mansion in Miami right now.
Yes.
Shooting machine guns at police and helicopters and... like Tim, it's Christmas time. It's Christmas time right now. Tim's calling up like, "Hey, Randy, you gonna come home this year?" And he's like, "Sorry, I can't come home this year." He's like, "I got business. I'm working on some business right now." And he's like, "Oh."
Randy's still bitter, like, about how left out he felt when he came home the last time.
What happened the last time he came home? I don't think I remember that episode.
It was like the last season. It's like the last episode JTT did was Randy coming home for Christmas. You know, it's like at this point, Mark and Brad have kind of bonded, just the two of them. And, you know, life has gone on without Randy, and there's just, like, stuff going on. There's things happening that don't involve him. And, like, they weren't expecting him to come home. So it's the whole, oh, hey, you're here. Now we kind of got to insert you.
It's like, you know what? We don't need Randy. Like, fuck Randy.
Like, he shows up, like, the guys on Girl Meets World. He'll show up like Uncle Eric.
It's like, hey guys, I'm here.
But
here's some Christmas presents.
it's like, Eric's here.
And then they're like, oh,
Like, it's Christmas.
Brad's like, my new girlfriend and her family are staying in your old bed, so you gotta sleep on the couch this year, Randy.
Or, oh my God, you know what it could be like? It could be like a very Brady Christmas, only Home Improvement. Wherever it is that Jill and Tim had to move to. Jill got a job offer somewhere, I forget where. But then she like almost didn't take it because she didn't want to like leave the house. So they literally like moved the house.
You know what? Low-key, I hate how like people in like TV shows like get super attached to like homes.
I can't imagine like moving a house. Like, who does that, people? Nobody, like, okay, I've actually like seen houses though on the flatbed truck that people are moving.
On the Brady series, like the continuation of the Brady Bunch, they actually moved the Brady Bunch house to like another location.
That's right, they did, because of the freeway that was being built.
So that's a thing apparently. But like,
don't you love the random knowledge we have?
but like, I like low-key just like why do like people get like so attached to like a house? Like you could just move somewhere else and just be in like a different place. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
All you do is you write Mike Seaver was here.
Yeah, and that changes
on
everything.
the fireplace.
That changes everything.
That changes everything. There you go.
Or you could be Ryan Atwood and you have like a illicit like flashback of Marissa Cooper.
Oh, Ryan.
What are we doing next week? It's episode 100. It's the end. It's the end of the first of the double digits. We're entering a new era of the podcast.
Oh my God. We're doing something we attempted to do.
We recorded it
way back.
We recorded it
in the day, but the file got corrupted.
Yes.
And we were like a drunken mess, so it's like a blessing.
But you know what? I would love to go back, listen to it, but it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I like we neither of us kept our like own recording.
But I didn't. I'm sorry. I apologize. But we're doing the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special for our 100th episode. We've done 100 episodes. We're finally there. We made it.
Yes.
And it's going to be the start of a new era for us because we're also going to have like a super important announcement. So I think you should listen to it.
Yes, you should definitely listen to episode 100. We'll have a super cool announcement.
And I apologize that you have to like I can't believe that I have to sit through the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas episode again. But I will do it for the podcast.
It's been a few years. It's time, Patrick.
I know. I just remember like there's like a weird like transformer like creature in it that seems like a backdoor pilot for like a toy line.
It probably was.
And it probably was, but
let's be real.
But I don't remember playing with that toy, so it never caught on. But definitely listen to that one. And where can you find us? You
can find us online at averyspecialpodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at A Very Special Podcast. Do not accept invitations. You can find us on Twitter at Very Podcast and on YouTube by searching A Very Special Podcast.
Yes, so definitely follow all those and more. So as always,
bye.
Watch the skies.